Hello students. Today the topic that we are going to discuss today is political parties from your political science textbook, and this chapter we are going to have a quick revision that will help you prepare well for your board exams. So let's start. The outline of the chapter. Why do we need political party? How many parties should we have? National political parties, state political parties, challenges to political parties, how can parties be reformed. So these are the outlines that we have to cover. These are the topics that we have to cover in the chapter. So let's continue. Political parties. So let us just understand what is a political party. It is an association of people who come together to contest election and hold power in government. So we can call any group, uh, people come together, form a group or form an association, and they have the goal of holding power in government. So whenever people come together with some common agenda, with some purpose of holding power in the government, for that they may be involved in doing lot of such works that will involve meeting with the people, coming in contact with the people. And the next point says they agree on some policies and programs with a view to promote the collective good. So this association of people has one common target. That target is to do the collective good for the people. Collective good, that means what they are supposed to do for the whole society, what is needed or what is demanded by the majority of people, what will be required for the whole society. So it is for the collective good, not for the individual good. So the people, those who are forming the association, they have some policies, they have some blueprint as to how to go about doing some work for the society and promote the view of collective good. The next point is a political party tries to convince people that its policies are better than the others, and it tries to win elections so that it could implement its policies. So a political party will always try to convince people. They'll say that they have better policies, they have better plannings for the development of the society, for the country, or for the state, and they would always try to showcase the things that they will do for the society, and they will also try to prove that their policies are better than others. The next point is parties reflect a fundamental division in society. Now this point clearly says that um, there are different social groups in the society. So different social groups or different individuals might prefer different political parties. So thus a division is created in the society. One group may be the supporter of one political party, the other group may be the supporter of another political party. Parties are about part of the society. They are a part of the society and thus involve partisanship. Partisanship means loyalty. So people, those who are supporting a particular party, they they remain loyal to that party. And since the political parties are a part of society only, so loyalty is also one factor that will be there. Next point is, a party is known by which part it stands for. So a political party has its ideology, has its priorities. So it will be known for which part it stands for, or which community or whose voice it is raising, which community's voice it is raising, and which ideology they uphold, which policies it supports, and whose interests it upholds. Let us see the components of a political party. The three components are leaders, active members, and followers. Now, a party is known by the leaders. Sometimes we may not even know the name of a political party. The stature of leaders becomes such huge that we often, the common people, a layman, would associate a party with its leader. They, as I said, that they may not even know the name of the party. So sometimes people link political parties to a particular leader, and it is true that every political party needs to have dynamic leaders, those who can lead the party, those who can mobilize supporters in their favor. Active members, yes, they are the pillars of the party. If they don't work, it is, we would say, the cadre. If a party has a large cadre, an active cadre, if it is a cadre based party, obviously it will have a large support base. So active members are the people, those who remain engaged in promoting the ideas. The leaders, they will show them the path, and active members will be carrying out the work. The next one is the followers. The followers are those people who may not be the members of political party, but they may support certain political parties' ideas, their views, their leaders. So followers could be any common man like you or me, those who will be supporting a political party's ideology or their views, right? Functions of a political party. See, starting with to contest election. So it is the main function of a political party. Political parties, in the beginning, we know that they come together to hold power in government. So for that, they have to contest elections. So the primary function the political party does is to contest election. Next is to mold public opinion. Political parties raise different issues which they feel that if they raise any issue, people will be coming in support of them. So in a way, they shape the public opinion. To form and run government, yes, it is true. When they contest election only for the purpose of winning majority, and once they get majority, they'll form the government, and they will also run the government. Next point is to play the role of opposition. Yes, the party that doesn't win the majority, the second largest party, or we would say generally it is the second largest party, or the party that doesn't that loses election, that plays the role of opposition. There will be many countries wherein there may be two major parties, one party winning and forming the government, the other party that loses will be playing the role of opposition. Next point is parties play an active role in making laws. So those who win elections, like in our country, we call MPs or MLAs. They are actually legislators. So MPs, they go to the parliament, they discuss and debate and deliberate on different issues. and they help in the making of laws. And most of the times, the ruling party, they put forth bills on which debate is to be carried out. So the ruling party will give instructions to all its members, and those members have to go by the party line, right? So they play a very important role in the making of laws. Parties play an active role in making people access government machinery and welfare schemes. So it is true, it is the political party, those who play the role of a link between people and the government. How would people come to know what are the schemes or what are the programs that the government has made for them? So it is the political parties who are going to approach the people, who are going to come in contact with the people. They're going to tell them that these are the policies and programs that have been made. These are the schemes that have been launched by the government. So you can take advantage of them. And only then people come to know, because we might find that people, they, how many of them read or watch news, right? So political leader is one who remains among people only, and they have an interest to get the support of people, especially the leaders from the ruling party. They would want people to know what their government, though the government is for everyone, but since their party is ruling, they would want to promote the programs and policies made by their government. The members, those who are the, I am talking about the members, those who are the members of the ruling party, right? Why do we need political parties? What is the need for political parties? The first condition is, it is very difficult to imagine democracy without political parties. Because without political parties, every candidate in the election will be independent. So no one will be able to make any promise to people about any major policy changes. So it is true that if there is no political party, independent candidates will be there, and they may be responsible for their respective constituencies. But when the question arises, who will be responsible for running the entire country? Who will be responsible for running the entire country? So that question will be very, very pertinent. So we can simply understand that political parties, in the absence of which it won't be possible to run the country. And we live in a world where in the contemporary world, we have representative democracy. So the concept of representative democracy becomes meaningless if we don't have political parties, because all the people cannot sit together at one place, nor do all the people have same knowledge or skills that are required in the process of taking decision. Okay, so there has to be an agency that will be responsible for managing the affairs of the state. So it is important to have political parties. Second one is, the government may be also formed, but its life will remain ever uncertain. Elected representatives will be accountable to their respective constituencies, not their country. This is almost the similar point. Even though we form the government, but it will remain uncertain. Its life will remain uncertain. Elected representatives who will be accountable to their respective constituencies, not for the country. Next one is, needed some agency to gather different views on various issues and to present this to the government. In the previous slide, we discussed how political parties, they shape public opinion by raising different issues, right? So it is this agency only that gathers different views on various issues and they only present these to the government, and then the government goes ahead with the decision of either making some law on that or taking some action on that. Okay, let us move to the next slide. How many parties should we have? There are these types of political parties. Single party system is there, in which only one party will be functioning, but we won't call it a democracy if there is only one party, like China, wherein we have only one political party there. All right, there may be other political parties also, but they are only the associates to the main political party over there. So we won't call China a democratic country. The other is the case of bi-party system, or we call it two-party system. In two-party system, we have examples of country like the USA, wherein we have two major parties, Republicans and Democrats. And in the UK also we have two major parties, Labour Party and Conservative Party. Okay, there may be various other parties also, but they may be subordinates to the major party, or they may be the associates of the to the major parties, or the only the two major parties are there. They are in the reckoning. They are in the reckoning. Multi-party system is a system wherein we have multiple political parties functioning in the country. The example is our country. We have a multi-party system because our constitution maker, they thought that in a country where there is a diverse population, to cater to the needs and aspirations of different people, we need to have different political parties, multiple political parties, so that voice of each community is heard in the parliament. The voice of each community is represented in the parliament. This is the reason why we have a multi-party system. And then this is almost similar to the third one only, multi-party system with two or more alliances, coalitions of fronts, that can be there. Okay, so which political party system a country will adopt will depend on its historical background, right? Plus it will also depend on how politics has nurtured in their country, how politics has evolved over time in their country. So accordingly they will go for a party system. Next in the slide that we are going to discuss is political parties in India. We have two types of political parties: national political parties and state or regional political parties. Let us understand what is a national party. A party that secured 6% of votes in the Lok Sabha elections or in assembly elections in 4 states and wins at least 4 Lok Sabha seats is recognized as a national party. So a party which wins 6% votes in the Lok Sabha elections or in the assembly elections in 4 states and wins at least 4 Lok Sabha seats, that is recognized as national party. Following are the examples of national parties in the country: Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, Indian National Congress, Communist Party of India, Communist Party of India, Marxist, Bahujan Samaj Party, Nationalist Congress Party, NCP, that is called All India Trinamool Congress is there, and recently one more party has been added to the list of national party, that is Aam Aadmi Party, which has also been recognized as a national party in the recent times. State or a regional party. A party that secures 6% of the total votes in election to the Legislative Assembly of the state and wins at least 2 seats is recognized as a state party. So condition is very clear: 6% of the total votes a party has to bag in an assembly elections, and the party has to win at least 2 seats. All right. There are many examples of state parties. Some of them are Biju Janata Dal, Samajwadi Party, Telugu Desam Party, AIADMK, Assam Gana Parishad. So these state parties are operational or having their support base in different states. Like Biju Janata Dal has a support base in Odisha, Samajwadi has support base in UP, Telugu Desam Party has in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. AIADMK is very dominant in Tamil Nadu politics, and Assam Gana Parishad is active in Assam. Let us discuss the challenges to political parties. The first major challenge is lack of internal democracy. There is a tendency in political parties towards the concentration of power in one or few leaders at the top. Parties do not conduct internal elections, and ordinary members do not get sufficient information on what happens inside the party. So this is very commonly seen that most of the political parties in the country, where we see that it is only a few top leaders, those who take all the decisions, and an ordinary member of a party doesn't know what is going on in the party, and the party doesn't also conduct internal elections or organizational meetings. Regular meetings also don't happen. That's why an ordinary member doesn't come to know about what is happening inside the party. Next one is dynastic succession. Those who happen to be the leaders are in position of unfair advantage to favor people close to them or even their family members. So we can say that sometimes a particular family has a very dominant position in a party. They try to control the party, all right, and those who are close to the leaders, or those who are the relatives, those who are the friends, or those who are known to the leaders, or those who are very close to the leaders, they are in a position of unfair advantage. So this is very unfair for those who are the ordinary members of the party. All right. Next one is money and muscle power. The parties tend to nominate those candidates who have or can raise lots of money. In some cases, parties support criminals also. So those people who have lots of money, or those who can raise money, money and muscle power has a great influence on Indian politics. We would see that those who donate, or those who give lot of, those who are able to give more money to a party, they feel that once their party comes to power, they will be able to take some favor from that political party. All right. So we have been seeing some influence of money and muscle power also, and this is one of the major challenges to political parties. Next one is lack of meaningful choices. So in order to offer meaningful choices to the voters, parties must be significantly different. Now this is very important. You take the case of a market only. Suppose you go to market and you want to purchase apples. So you would see that the apples have to be of good quality. Then only you are going to purchase them. In the same way, if leaders, those who are contesting elections, if all of them are tainted, then who the people will choose or elect? All right, you got my point? So if there is nothing to choose from, that means there is no meaningful choice. People will feel that there is no point giving votes to such people, because all are either with some criminal background, they are tainted, corrupt, all this. Okay, so the people, those who are contesting elections, they need to be significantly different from the rest. Then only people will vote for them. How to reform political parties? Now let me read some quotes here. If a law is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he is obliged to do so. People should not be afraid of their government. Government should be afraid of their people. So these two quotes are very meaningful. If law is unjust, if it is unfair, if it is not doing justice, then yes, you can disobey it, and a man is obliged to do so. And people should not be afraid of their government. If people are aware, well informed, then the government should be afraid of them. People will be afraid of the government only when people are having lack of information or people are ill informed. And if people are educated, if people are very well aware of the things happening around them, if people are well informed, then the government will also be alerted. The government will also remain on its toe. Government will also remain under pressure to work for the people. So it's similar to a classroom situation. If a teacher goes to a classroom without preparation and he knows that the students are not going to ask any questions, in that situation, the teacher will not prepare. He will take them for granted. He will take students for granted because he knows that student students are not going to ask him any questions. So he'll not prepare, and that will not be the classroom will not be an interactive classroom or classroom. The purpose of the classroom teaching will not be solved, right? And suppose we take another situation wherein a classroom in which students are quite intelligent and smart, they ask questions. Then the teacher also knows it that the students are going to ask me questions on different things, on different issues. So teacher will come prepared to the classroom. So this is the situation with the government also. If government sees that people are not going to ask them questions, people are not going to uh, hold them accountable, then government will take people for granted. And if people are well informed, people are educated, so it is through education only they'll become aware, then the government will also be responsible, government will also be accountable, the government will also do its work more responsibly. All right, let us move to the next slide. How can parties be reformed? There is a law that has been enacted during the Rajiv Gandhi government, anti-defection law. See, it says that MLAs or MPs cannot change their parties after the election. After an MP is elected, say from a certain political party, he can change his party, he can leave his party, just like any any person who is working in some company. If he feels like leaving that company, he can leave that company and go somewhere else. It is his personal choice. Same is the case with leaders. Leaders can also leave their party, go to join some other party. They can also join some other party. Why stop them joining from other parties? Why stop them from joining other parties? So that we have to understand that uh, a leader is also, after all, an individual. He or she also may have some personal choice, even though he is an MP or an MLA on a certain political party's ticket. But after winning the election, if he leaves his party and goes to join some other party, then he will lose his candidature as an MP and MLA. This is to be noted. That is called anti-defection law. Defection, when a leader leaves his party and goes to another party, that is called defection. So earlier, leaders used to there used to be a lot of horse trading. If suppose a political party is short of certain numbers to reach the majority, then it might be engaged in horse trading, it might be engaged in buying the MPs or the MLAs. That is called horse trading. So to stop that ill practice only, to reform that political party only, this law has been made, and this law has been, to a great extent, we would say, uh, been able to reduce the defection, if not at all eliminate defection. Next point is affidavit. Now, the Supreme Court passed an order to reduce the influence of money and criminals. So, affidavit regarding their educational qualification, regarding if any criminal background is there, if any cases are pending against them, and the assets that they own, fixed asset or the movable asset. So these three information every candidate while uh, getting prepared to contest election has to fill, and these information are really very good disclosures, we would say, though there is no mechanism to check whether the information that he is giving, the person who is contesting elections giving, is right or wrong, uh, whether he is giving the correct information. But if it is found out later that he has given incorrect information regarding his educational qualification and regarding any case pending against him, any criminal case pending against him, and the assets also, regarding the asset or the property, if he gives any incorrect information, later on his candidature might be taken away, right? So he will lose his position as an MP or MLA. Then the next point is, now it is mandatory for every candidate who contests elections to file an affidavit. This is exactly what I have just discussed here. His property and criminal cases pending against him, but there is no system of check if the information given by the candidate is true or not. But if it is found out later that the information was incorrect, then in that case that person might lose his candidature. All right, next slide is the steps taken by the election commission. So it is a continuation of reformation of political parties, or what steps so far have been taken by different institutions to reform political parties. So the one taken by the election commission is that it passed an order making it necessary for political parties to hold their organizational elections and file their income tax returns. One more step has been taken by the government that is very significant, that the cash donations earlier, which was 20,000 rupees, so the cash limit was 20,000 earlier, now it has been reduced to 2,000. So the influence of cash has also been curtailed to a great extent through that step of the government, the black money or money laundering. All right, so if if there are more cash donations, and if we allow 20,000 cash donations, then you could imagine the amount of black money being transferred. So to stop that practice only, the cash donation amount has been reduced to 2,000. And later the government, the present government only came up with electoral bonds, though the Supreme Court has put a stay on it and the matter is sub judice. So I'm not going to discuss on that. So let us move to the next slide. Proposal for electoral reforms. Now there are many proposals given for electoral reforms. Let us read about them. One is a provision of state funding of elections. Many people are of the opinion that with the purpose to check the misuse of money power, provision of state funding of elections should be made, and that the state funding can be in the kind of petrol or party expenses, in the form of petrol also it could be given, or um, some non-monetary form also it can be, um, and certain amount can be fixed, and for that a tax can be levied on people, that like we take educational cess, in the same way um, election cess could be taken, right? But it is still a proposal, it is not yet passed. And check on misuse of official machinery. The election commission has given the following code of conduct. We know model code of conduct once the elections are announced. Model code of conduct needs to be implemented. The election should be held under the supervision of caretaker government. The minister should not be allowed to take part in the functions arranged with the government expenditure. The minister should not be allowed to use government vehicles. Provision to minimize the number of candidates. It is commonly seen that the large number of candidates contesting elections, and sometimes their number crosses hundreds, which becomes a headache for the electoral officers. So efforts should be made to discourage the non-serious candidates from contesting elections. So this is also a good proposal. Plus, we know that before 1992, if we talk about the local elections only, though that is of the chapter from, I think that is the chapter from federalism only. So that point is to be there. Like, yes, one reform I would say that has been done was one third seat should be reserved for women, right? Recently, a law has been passed allowing women to have one third of seats reserved in the Lok Sabha elections, in the parliament. Yes, in the parliament, but that is yet to be implemented. the So this is the end of the explanation, the quick revision, and I would also request students to go to the link. The link, I mean, in the comment box only, the link that will be provided, and I'll be providing you with some extra questions as well. Do attempt them, and please do read the chapter. I'm sure you must have read it, but it was just for the purpose of a quick revision only. So detailed reading has to be there of the chapter, and those points which have been left out, I don't think that anything has been left out. Even if anything is, if you feel something is left out, do write it in the comment box, and I will reply back. Thank you for now, and have a great day.